Hello and welcome to all of our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a new cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyag Mofwegbe, and here is a quick reminder that we are on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. A pro-government advocacy group has called for greater public enlightenment on the ongoing reforms and infrastructure projects by President Bola Tinubu across the country. The group made the call during a courtesy visit to former Kano State Governor Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje at his residence in Abuja to solicit his support for their nationwide campaign aimed at promoting awareness of government policies and achievements. We'll bring you that story later. Nigeria's newly appointed Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Shola Enikaloye, has officially assumed office with a pledge to strengthen the country's diplomatic engagements and advance President Bola Tinubu's foreign policy agenda. Foreign Affairs correspondent Agbo Ramsey Enoch reports. We'll have all of those details for you as we make progress into this news broadcast. We take a quick break. The rest of the news will come your way shortly. Do stay with us. Please, Mr. Zike, can you help us check with that, please? Thank you so very much for staying with us. The deputy spokesperson of the House of Representatives, Philip Agbese, has commended the Nigerian Armed Forces for what he described as their exceptional performance, despite financial and operational challenges following the recent rescue of 360 abductees from the Mandara Mountains in Borno State. The Nigerian Army, particularly troops of Operation Hardin K, for the successful rescue of 360 abductees from the area, a notorious terrorist enclave in the southern part of the state. Recall that Boko Haram terrorists had attacked a military base in Goshe, burning operational vehicles, dispersing security forces, killing an unspecified number of people, as well as abducting several others. In a post on his X handle, Agbese says the operation carried out by troops of Operation Hardin K demonstrated the military's resilience, professionalism, and commitment to combating insurgency and restoring peace across the country. The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has ordered the deployment of Deputy Inspectors General of Police to the 6 geopolitical zones as security agencies intensify efforts to rescue students abducted in Oyo State. The move is part of broader measures aimed at strengthening operational effectiveness and tackling violent crimes across the country. And shortly we'll join our security correspondent to bring you all of those details. As we turn to other stories now, concerned Nigerians have called on political parties across the country to put aside
determined to tighten security nationwide and secure the release of abducted students in Oyo State. The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has announced the deployment of Deputy Inspector General of Police to the 6th geopolitical zone of the country. Addressing senior officers during a strategic conference in Abuja, IGP Disu described the Oyo School adoption as an active operation, assuring Nigerians that security agencies are making significant progress towards the safe rescue of the victims. He reaffirmed the commitment of the police force and its partners to ensuring that the abducted students are reunited with their families unharmed.
The adoption of school children in Oyo State remains an active operation. I wish to assure that their families and Nigerians that the full operational capacity of the force, in coordination with sister agencies, has committed to securing their return safely. Let me make it clear that this deployment is not ceremonial. It is intended to bring leadership closer to the field, improve response mechanism, and ensure that emerging security threats received prompt and coordinated attention.
It further ordered a nationwide crackdown on vehicles operating without registration plate or with concealed, altered, or defaced number plate, noting that such vehicles are often used by kidnappers and other criminal groups to evade detection. The IGP warns that offending vehicles would be impounded and subjected to legal procedures, stressing that the enforcement exercise will be carried out without exception.
Today, the Nigerian police force will no longer tolerate such acts of impunity. Every vehicle operating on our roads must be properly registered and must display its approved registration number in accordance with the law. Any vehicle found without number plates or with deliberate, obscured, concealed, or tampered registration number will be stopped, impounded, and subjected to the appropriate legal process.
The latest directives underscores the police force's renewed push to strengthen internal security and curb kidnapping, banditry, and other violent crimes threatening communities across the country. Kike Lomo Okere, Global TV News.
Thank you so very much, Kike Lomo. Concerned Nigerians have called on political parties across the country to put aside partisan interests and unite in the fight against insecurity, warning that no political activity can thrive in the absence of peace and stability. The call was made during a peaceful protest in Abuja under the banner of the Nigerians Unite Against Insecurity movement. Samuel Odi has the rest of the report.
The protesters, drawn from civil society groups, community-based organizations, and concerned citizens, marched through parts of the Federal Capital Territory, carrying placards and demanding urgent measures to tackle insecurity across the country. Addressing the gathering, the group said insecurity has become a national challenge that transcends political, ethics, and religious boundaries, and therefore requires a united national response. They noted that political parties, elected officials, and community leaders must work together to confront the growing threats of banditry, kidnapping, terrorism, and violent crimes affecting communities nationwide.
Hello, Nigerian! Every one of us is not safe unless we all stand up. It is therefore important to say something and say something. Policing alone is not enough. DSS alone is not enough. Military alone is not enough. Civil defense alone is not enough unless we are able to volunteer and provide security for them.
While commending the effort of the military, police, Department of State Service, civil defense, and other security agencies, the group called for stronger collaboration between security institutions and citizens. The demonstrators also urged Nigerians to volunteer useful information to security agencies and resist any attempt by criminal elements to exploit division based on ethnicity, religion, or political affiliation.
Medium to call on Mr. President to mandate all his ministers, to mandate all top appointed governmental officials to go back to their community and keep their community safe first. Because it's like Abuja has become a hidden place for all of them.
They expressed optimism that a united national front against insecurity would help restore peace, strengthen national cohesion, and create an environment conducive to the development of Nigeria. Samuel Odi, Global Television News.
And many thanks to you, Samuel. The federal government says the National Regional Development Policy 2026 to 2030 will provide a unified framework to coordinate the activities of regional development commissions and unlock the economic potential of Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. Permanent Secretary in the Federal Ministry of Regional Development, Dr. Mary Ada Ogbe, announced this at the Northwest Regional Validation Workshop on the National Regional Development Policy. She further stated that the policy became imperative following the federal government's creation of additional regional development commissions. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has called for stronger collaboration with political parties to ensure credible, peaceful, and transparent polls. Speaking at the second quarterly consultative meeting with leaders of political parties at INEC headquarters in Abuja, the Commission's chairman, Professor Josh Amopito, stressed that early engagement remains key to building trust and strengthening Nigeria's democracy ahead of 2027. And Yetia Patrick was there for us.
As Nigeria is entering a critical phase in its electoral calendar, INEC has urged political parties to deepen internal democracy as 2027 general elections draw closer amid legal disputes and ongoing voter registration drive. Professor Amopiton said political parties remain indispensable partners in the electoral process, noting that credible elections can only be achieved through cooperation, compliance with timeliness, and respect for democratic principles.
In suit number FC ABC ABJ CS 517-2026, U Party and INEC delivered on 20th May 2026. The court questioned certain timelines contained in the Commission's timetable and schedule of activities for the 2027 general election.
The national chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, Dr. Yusuf Dantele, warned that Nigerians' democratic gains risk being undermined if urgent reforms are not made to strengthen internal party democracy. He raised concerns over the legal framework guiding party primaries, saying recent experiences ahead of the 2027 elections exposed gaps that created tension, litigation, and confusion among political parties.
Therefore, considers it imperative that all electoral activities be harmonized within a coherent and workable framework that promotes certainty, transparency, administrative efficiency, and equal treatment of all political parties.
Meanwhile, INEC chairman further disclosed that the commission is already intensifying preparations for upcoming polls, including the Ekiti State governorship election, scheduled for June 20th, as well as several by-elections across the country on the same date. He emphasized that while respecting judicial decisions, INEC must maintain a coherent electoral calendar to avoid confusion in party activities, nominations, logistics, and election deployment. Amopiton added that the success of the 2027 elections will depend not only on its own preparedness, but also on the commitment of political parties to credible primaries, peaceful campaigns, and strict adherence to electoral rules. Anyeti Patrick, Global TV News.
Away from Anyeti's report now, the Joint Health Sector Unions has warned of a possible fresh industrial action over the federal government's failure to implement the long-awaited adjustment of the consolidated health salary structure. National Chairman of JOHESU and President of Medical and Health Workers Union of Nigeria, Kabiru Minijibiru, made this known in an interview with newsmen on the sidelines of the 114th International Labour Conference in Geneva, Switzerland. He said the unresolved salary adjustment had remained a major concern for health workers for more than a decade, despite several engagements with government. The proposal to raise Nigeria's national minimum wage to 100,000 naira has triggered fresh debate on workers' welfare, inflation, and the rising costs of living. While many workers welcome discussions on higher pay, others insist that controlling prices and stabilizing the economy should take precedence. Zarao Nasiro takes a look at this.
For this. I would like to therefore to express my sincere appreciation for the warm welcome accorded me upon my arrival at the ministry this evening. I apologize.
I will track that development for you in a subsequent bulletin. The federal government, in collaboration with the Nigerian Environmental Society, has intensified efforts to tackle environmental pollution through capacity building and public awareness on sustainable waste management. The initiative targets key stakeholders across the Federal Capital Territory as part of efforts to promote a cleaner and healthier environment. Environment correspondent Ubong Usoro reports.
The Federal Ministry of Environment and the Nigerian Environmental Society have commenced a comprehensive waste management training program for journalists, civil servants, waste management officials, waste pickers, and environmental stakeholders drawn from Gwagwalada, Abaji, and Kwali area councils of the Federal Capital Territory. Speaking at the training, President of the Nigerian Environmental Society, Efebidike Okobia, emphasized the enormous economic potential embedded in waste, noting that effective recycling and resource recovery can transform waste into wealth through a circular economy model. He urged participants to serve as ambassadors of environmental sustainability by replicating the knowledge gained and promoting responsible waste management practices within their communities and institutions.
Discovered that the use of waste bin is totally absent in this area country. People hardly purchase dustbin in this area country. They just don't waste anyhow.
Delivering a lecture on waste management challenges in the area councils, environmental expert Austin Osayade highlighted the growing pressure on waste disposal systems due to rapid urbanization, inadequate infrastructure, and poor waste handling practices. He identified indiscriminate dumping, open burning of waste, and the absence of structured waste management systems as the major environmental concerns requiring urgent intervention.
Implemented of stopping of plastic and polystyrene.
The training also featured practical demonstration on recycling, with participants learning how plastic waste can be converted into valuable products such as decorative frames, packaging materials, and other reusable items.
Putting it in this position is because I need some allowance by the edge.
Some participants called for stronger enforcement of environmental regulations and reduced political interference in waste management operations to ensure effective monitoring and compliance.
About the issue of waste management. Because of fact, waste management is a challenge, not only in the area council, everywhere.
The program is expected to be extended to other area councils as part of broader efforts to strengthen sustainable waste management practices, reduce environmental degradation, and promote a culture of recycling across the Federal Capital Territory. Ubong Usoro, Global TV News.
We appreciate your reports in Ubong Usoro. You're watching the live broadcast of the news cycle here on Global Television. The rest of the broadcast continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign export stories for you. Please do stay with us.
Hello and welcome to our weather update. Currently, a number of weather systems are positioned just along the eastern flank of the country. And as we move into the early hours of Wednesday, the systems are expected to trigger thunderstorms across parts of Adamawa and Taraba State. These storms are also expected to gradually propagate westwards, affecting parts of Gombe, Bauchi, Kaduna, Zamfara, Sokoto, and Kebbi State. Some of these thunderstorms may also extend into the Federal Capital Territory, as well as parts of Benue, Plateau, and Nasarawa State. In addition, there is a likelihood of morning rainfall over isolated areas of Cross River, Akwa Ibom Rivers, and parts of Lagos State. And as the day progresses, rainfall activity is expected to persist through the afternoon into the late evening hours across much of the country. However, parts of the far northern region are likely to remain predominantly sunny and warm throughout the day. Residents are advised to remain vigilant as heavy rainfall may increase the risk of flash flooding, particularly in flood-prone and low-lying areas. I am Akami Samarda. Do have a safe day.
Oh, thank you so very much for staying with us. The second part of this broadcast now continues with business. The federal government has announced plans to establish a Nigeria Deal Room, a new platform designed to bridge the gap between investment discussions and the execution of real investment transactions. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Taiwo Oyedele, disclosed the initiative while speaking at the opening of the Invest Lagos 3.0 Summit. He said the platform will help identify strategic projects, remove regulatory bottlenecks, and connect investors directly with investment-ready opportunities across the country. The State of Israel has disclosed that it has ongoing agricultural cooperation with Nigeria, noting that Israeli technology and seedlings are already being deployed by the Nigerian farmers. Speaking in Abuja during Israel's 78th Independence Anniversary celebration, the country's ambassador to Nigeria, Michael Freeman, said Israeli companies are already operating in the country. He also noted that while the seeds planted were Israeli and supported by Israeli technology, the land and workers remain Nigerian. He said cooperation between both countries is expanding across innovation, agriculture, healthcare, security, education, and skills development, describing the initiatives as investments in a shared future. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, says Nigeria's petrol import bill fell to 87.40 billion naira in first quarter 2026 from 2.27 trillion naira in first quarter of last year, representing a 96.15% year-on-year decline. The decline was largely driven by increased reliance on locally refined petroleum products, particularly from the Dangote refinery, which has reshaped Nigeria's energy trade balance. Let's take you to the foreign scene now, where Pope Leo XIV has arrived in Barcelona, where he will celebrate Mass in the Sagrada Familia Basilica and bless the new tower that has made it the world's tallest church. On day 4 of his visit to Spain, the Pope took off from Madrid, where he had given an unprecedented speech to Parliament and held an open-air Mass with 1.5 million people. Before departing, Pope Leo thanked a gathering of thousands of volunteers who contributed to the huge logistical and security operations at his events in the capital, including at Real Madrid's Bernabeu Stadium. In Barcelona, he will visit the city's Gothic cathedral, leading a prayer vigil in Olympic Stadium. Quite historical. Let's go catch some excitement from the world of sports now. Nigeria's preparations to host the 2027 African School Games have received a major boost, with the Association of National Association Committees of Africa, ANOCA, expressing confidence in the country's readiness to stage the continental event. The endorsement came during a strategic review meeting in Abuja between ANOCA officials and the local organizing committee. We'll continue to track those developments for you in the course of our news broadcast here on Global Television. In the meantime, that's a full cycle on the news, and as always, we're delighted to remind you that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 as well as on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TVNG, as well as other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Uyi Agmofwegwe, thanking you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.